Hey, everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to Masters of the Universe, the board game, the Clash of Eternia expansion, the Evil Horde. So we already went through the base game, where you got to see He-Man and his master allies, Skeletor and his evil forces. Then the corresponding box sets, of course, are the She-Ra in the Rebellion expansion, and then the foes that she fought, which was Hordak, who's based, tangentially, he's kind of like sort of like Skeletor's like mentor of sorts. Kind of helped him out, gave him powers, but he wasn't like. But Skeletor's also one of them guys that's like, I don't need any help. Of course. So yeah, we're gonna hop in and look at these evil guys if we want some more bad guys to play. So first of all, we have our token sheet, which will have all of our HP tokens on there. We are going to get 7 more characters. We also have these new tokens, which are these shadow cages. So let's go ahead and look at what those do, and then we'll actually see what they do more, like who gets to play with them when we get to that character. So it cannot be entered or exited. Terrain penalties. Models in the space or an adjacent space may remove this token by choosing one of the following. Pay 2 or perform an attack against the token and generate at least 3 success. So it's going to trap people. So once they get hit by this, they're stuck in there until either they pay 2 or they get rid of it. That's definitely fun there. Alright, then up next we have our Horde Troopers. So we're going to get some more minions. So we had the little hover robots for the Skeletor's forces. Now we're going to get the Horde Troopers, and we get 2 different designs there. As you can see, we have like one guy looking left, one guy looking right. Not very much different, but still cool. Yeah, these guys have 1 defense. They're also going to be ranged as well. The hover robots, I believe, are melee, so this is kind of cool. You have another ranged minion to play with. If you mix and match them, although the game doesn't typically let you do that if you do your own rules, but you have the option of placing one or the other, because you have more minions available. It could be the difference between, hey, do I want a ranged character or a melee character? It also has self-destruct. When a Horde Trooper is reduced to 0 HP, roll a die on a ranged 1 adjacent enemy suffers 1 wound. So that's fun. They blow up. They're not very stable. That's definitely a cool extra thing. We're going to get 4 of each of these sculpts. We have 8 total to match our other minions. The next thing we're also going to get is we're going to get an elite minion. We have the Horde Wraith. This is a spooky, scary magician guy. So, again, elite minions are only summoned by a specific character. So, again, we'll see what character it is when we get there. But, gain +1 die for each other Horde Wraith within 2 spaces. Now, there's only 3 of these. So it's only going to get so powerful. But it has Wraith Bolt, which is a melee attack, which seems weird. The Bolt is a melee attack. For every castle grayscale result becomes +1 success, and 1 ally within 4 spaces gains 1 power. And that's kind of neat, because then their other abilities gain 1 die for each other horde. So if you have all 3 of them out, you get to roll 2 extra dice. So that could be a 5. And you could gain lots of extra successes on there. That's pretty cool. And again, you're going to get 3 of these. The other thing we'll have are all of our activation cards. Of course, we'll get 2 copies of the player and 1 for the controller for each character. And I'm not going to go through each individual one, just because they're just the pictures of the characters. Alright, let's hop right into our miniatures, our other characters. We're going to start with the big boss man himself, Hordak. I will give a slight warning ahead of time, because these are like horror characters. They're a little bit more scary looking than like even Skeletor, I guess. But if you're familiar with the series, you know what you're looking for. So here's Hordak. He's a bat-like creature. Lots of dark magic. 7 health, 1 defense. Horde Staff, 3 damage. But then it's Augment, reaction. When Hordak or an ally within 4 spaces rolls an attack dice, roll 1 die. Reaction, Hordak or an ally within 4 spaces moves, they move +1 space. Or reaction, when Hordak or an ally within 4 spaces activates, they heal 2. So that's kind of cool. He can spend to boost up himself or his allies. Skeletor had very similar abilities. To kind of like help out his team, which I thought was very interesting, especially when you compare both of them to like He-Man or even like She-Ra, where She-Ra heals people, but He-Man's all about like, I'm by myself. But it makes sense because a lot of times he can always have people with him. Alright, now let's look at his controller side. Horde Staff and Augment, same exact ability, but then he also has Empowered. When Hordak activates, place 2 power on any one controller skill or on any one ally within 2 spaces. Nice, so he's really utilizing his troops. Even more so than Skeletor. Like, he really seems like he's like, I'm commanding my team. So that's actually really neat. Alright, then we have AI version. We have Dark Vortex. 4 range, this attack hits all player characters on the battlefield to not generate power. Just dang. And then Hex. All player characters on the battlefield become dazed. Wow. He goes all out when he becomes an AI. I don't like him. AI characters are too powerful. We have his abilities. We're gonna scroll down, zoom down here a bit. We have Buzzsaw. For each Tassel Grayskull rolled, roll 1 additional dice. Bonus action, flip this skill over. Okay, cool. So he can, he has already another melee. He can get different melee attacks instead. Or he can flip this over to his energy cannon. Enemies wounded by this attack lose 1 power. If they cannot, they suffer 1 wound, and he can flip that over. It's kind of neat. So either a power loss ability with a potential extra wound or more damage. Kind of like, which one do you need? His yellow one is Hex. Defense boost, choose 1. For each miss, the attacker suffers 1 wound. Or the attacker must reroll all successes. Surge gain both. Cool, so that's pretty fun. Not like the other one where it just dazed everybody, but this is actually kind of nice because you get a good idea of what you need to do. But of course, remember that you choose your defense bonuses before they roll. So you have to decide. So basically, your opponent boosts up, and if they're rolling, 2 dice, you might be like, not as worried about it. Not defense. But you might pay 1. If they miss, you get an extra one. But if they're rolling like 5 dice, it might be worth surging this and getting both. So they have to keep re-rolling. Cool. Then we have Rocket. Push Hordak up to 5 spaces, ignoring terrain penalties. He may move through but not end on enemies during this move. Each enemy passes through suffers 2 wounds. I just imagine him with like a jetpack on. It makes me laugh. But yeah, that's cool. Extra movement's always nice, plus the fact you can damage people while doing it. Alright, then he has Dark Vortex. This attack hits all enemy characters on the battlefield regardless of range or line of sight. This attack cannot generate power. For each tassel rolled enemies, characters become dazed. That's still crazy. 5 dice, and then he can just, break people with it. And then also remember, he has Augment. So it says, whenever an ally, Hordak or an ally within 4 spaces rolls an attack dice, they roll 1 extra die. So you could augment this attack and boost it even higher. That's pretty crazy. And then his other side is his mount. Like He-Man, Skeletor, and She-Ra, he also gets him out. He has Mantisaur. Replace Hordak with Hordak on Mantisaur. He gains 2 max HP. So that's lots of time gain defense. But he's going to gain extra health. Which is kind of cool. Makes him a little bit harder to kill. Move 1 space, move 2 space, or push one enemy thing up to 4 spaces, up to 3 spaces towards Hordak. So bring them closer, then you can bash them with some of them melee attacks. Nice. And then the controller version of that, where we actually get to see the Mantisaur. Zooming over on that guy. That's crazy. Staff and Pincer. Attack boost hits attack hits all adjacent enemies. Cool. And then Mantisaur's move 1, move 2, and pushes all enemies. Empowered. Enemies pushed by Hordak on Mantisaur suffer 1 wound. Oh, that's cool. So you can shove guys around. Let's take a little bit closer look at his miniature. So there, of course, I'm going to slide this down here so it's not in my way. I love how detailed the cape, like, again, like the little like ridges in the cape are cool. All the detail on him. And then let's look at his Mantisaur. Which is neat because it's like a giant mechanical thing rather than being like a living creature like all the rest do. But it could just be like some augmented thing as well. Oh, there's a little gun on his butt is also neat. Then he has this crossbow. Alright, so before I jump to the next one, I'm gonna bring up the Wraith again. So I didn't really look at it, and he's kind of bent down. But yeah, that's cool. Torn cape, all that. I don't know what it is about Simon, but they love their capes. And go look at some of their zombie side games. There's people with their, or Mass of Darkness, tapes everywhere. Alright, so up next we have Leech. I loved this, this guy as a, toy. Because, like, you see his suction cups on his hands, on his mouth. They were actual suction cups as the toys. You could, like, press them up against the window and have them hang on to stuff. Then he has them on his feet as well. Yeah, they made these toys for kids, and I loved them. Alright, let's zoom out and see what Leech does for us. And look at that picture, right? Like, it looks ridiculous because it was a toy. But you still it's still believable. Alright, so there's Life Siphon. Free reaction. If attacking a dazed enemy after rolling an attack dice, you may re-roll any dice. Attack boost for each wound dealt by this attack, heal 1, and attack boost enemies wounded by this attack become dazed. Yeah, so Hordak had the ability to daze guys. We'll see if some other people do, because they could kind of combine with each other. But yeah, the fact that he can heal with this ability, or he can daze enemies and then use it the second time. And then daze enemies move less so that he can catch them quicker. Alright, so let's look at his other side. He has Life Siphon again. For each wound dealt by this attack, heal 1 and leak power. Enemies wounded by this attack lose 1 power. If they cannot, they become dazed. For each Gray Skull, the enemy loses 1 power. If they cannot, they become dazed. So he's going to drain your energy a lot, which is really fun. And then, yeah, he'll daze you, which will make it even harder. So you have to pay, an energy point to become undazed. He's already sucking your energy, it's going to make it harder. Crazy. Empowered. Roll +2 dice attack when attacking dazed enemies. So he's all about dazing guys and then pouncing on them afterwards. Alright, his AI version. Drain life. Attack boost for each wound, heal 1 health, and attack boost enemies wounded become dazed. And then drain power. All enemies in 2 spaces lose 2 power. For each power they cannot lose, they suffer a wound. All power taken from the skill increases the AI's ability. Oh, cool. So then not only does he just does this free skill, steals your energy, and then you just use it for his drain life on the next turn. That's hilarious. Alright, let's look at his skills. He's got leech power here. I'm gonna zoom down here a little bit. Alright. Enemies wounded by this attack lose 1 power. They cannot just suffer 1 wound. For each Castle Grayskull, they lose 1 power if they cannot just suffer 1 wound. So he's gonna just suck your power out. That is nuts. And then Suction Toss. Push enemies wounded by this up to 2 spaces. If an enemy ends adjacent to another enemy, perform a 3 ranged attack on adjacent enemy. They cannot generate power. That's cool. So he does the damage. It's like He-Man's throw. He has Suction Grip. Reaction. When an enemy within 2 spaces moves, they must pay 1 energy. If they cannot, they do not move. And reaction. After Leech moves, push 1 enemy he began adjacent to into the closest adjacent space to each. So he brings them with him. So yeah, he can stop guys from moving, or they have to pay power, and then he can also bring them with him. That's crazy. And then no skeleton. Move boost. Leech ignores terrain penalties and enemies during this move action. If they move through walls of ruins, 1 enemy he moves through becomes dazed. What? That's nuts. He can move through the walls of ruins, and he can move through guys to make them dazed, and then use all his other... I do not want to fight this guy. All these energy sucking abilities, it makes it harder to play your abilities. Easy prey. If the enemy has no energy, which is very possible with him, Leech may reroll any attack dice. If the enemy is dazed, roll +2 attack dice. And if both, Castle Grayskull generate additional successes. That's awesome. That's crazy. Yeah, easy prey. Hey, you have no energy and you're dazed. He's just going to wail on you even harder. Lethal Parasite. The controller does not gain energy from this skill. Defense boost for his attack only. The attacker rolls -1 attack. Either -2 attack or -3 attack. Yeah, that's helpful. Especially if you've already eliminated all their energy and they have less less power, so they can't perform some of their more powerful attacks. So you could knock down their basic attack by 1 to 3, making them even less effective. That's funny. And because it's a defense boost, they've already had to pay for their attack. So if they paid 3, or they paid like 1 or 2, their very few remaining energy maybe to perform a good attack, you can just shut it down. That's awesome. Alright, up next we have Modlock, or Modulok, like modular. This guy's very interesting. So it says laser rifle. So it says big giant laser rifle here. It says after rolling the attack dice, reroll any dice. So yeah, that's cool. And then 2 rings. The first time Modlock activates each round, he may flip one of his skills over. Bonus action. Perform any one action. She spends 3 for a bonus action, performing extra action. So it's basically the 3rd action in your turn, and you can flip his skills over. So he has options to do that. So if I remember what this guy's deal is he can grow his parts wherever he wants. That's why he has 3 legs. He can grow like extra legs. I believe it's something like that. I don't remember exactly. He's got 3 legs, 2 heads, 2 arms. So just laser rifle again, and then reroll any die, or +1 die may split between 2 enemies. Is it because it's a dual-barreled gun? Maybe. Adapt. Bonus action, perform any one action. And then bonus action 2, heal 2. Empower. During Morlock's activation, he may play 2 power to draw a single strategy card. Nice. Really gotta see the skills are for some of these. Laser rifle, 4 or 4, ranged or melee. Roll any dice, gain 2 attack, and rapid reconfigure. Heal 2. Move modular 2 spaces towards the closest enemy at the lowest HP. If he ends adjacent to them, they become dazed. There's that dazing again. A lot more prevalent in these expansions than it was in the base game. Alright, let's look at his skills, which he has the ability to flip over. Alright, we'll take a quick look at him since we're have to zoom in anyhow. There's his scary mug. We kind of looked at him a little bit before, but we'll just do that. Then we can just zoom down into this. He has pinchers for 3 melee. Ignores defense. Cannot use defense boost. Bonus action. Flip this skill over. Alright, we have laser pistols. A melee target enemies within 2 spaces. Hits all enemies within 2 spaces. Flip this skill over. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So instead of having the typical 4 range, it can only hit someone within 2 spaces. But it's going to automatically hit anyone in them 2 spaces. Alright, he has some extra, like that. So you can grow extra body parts. Move +1 space, ignore terrain penalties. Bonus action, puts all adjacent enemies up to 1 space away from Moduluk. And bonus action, flip this skill over. So you can kind of kick guys away, or you can move through stuff easier. Or you can have a reinforced body. Defense boost, roll 3 dice for each melee or skull. Castle Grayskull, gain 1 armor. And then bonus flip this over. So extra defense. So either do you need to move or push guys, or do you want extra defense? Then he has Reconstruct. Each time Hordak flips one of his skills over, including this one, heal 1. Bonus action, heal 2. Bonus action, flip this skill over. That's crazy. Plus he has, the first time he activates each round, he may flip one of his skills. So you can flip one that even if you're not going to really use it, if you have this out, especially, and heal at least 1 every turn, no matter what. And then we have Rapid Reconfigure. These boosts can be used on any of Modulok's attacks. Attack boost roll 1 dice, attack boost roll 2 dice, attack boost roll 3 dice, and may reroll any dice. Crazy. That's actually pretty cool. Yes, he's just... they like having these characters where they can kind of do what they need to do. He has a lot of range stuff, couple of melee, but the fact is he can heal himself every turn. Multiple times, depending on how many times you pay for the extra skills. And he has, some different little things. He's definitely neat. Not like super crazy mechanics, but very solid powers. Alright, let's look at our next creepy creature from Hordak's army. We have another multi-legged guy. We have Mantenga. Oh, we gotta zoom back out. There's Mantenga. His eyeballs pop out. I remember this toy too. I think you could squeeze him, and his eyeballs would kind of move up and down or in and out of his body, or as a lever on the back. I don't remember exactly how. But yeah, that's what he did. And then look at his miniature there. He's got 4 legs. Alright, so Mantenga says crossbow, attack boost, ignore defense, solid starter ability, and Overwatch. Reaction, when an enemy ends a move action or performs an attack action in 4 spaces of Mantenga, he performs 1 action targeting that enemy. Cool. So he can immediately target them with something else. So right off the bat, he can always keep doing his crossbow. But you could potentially get other skills to do more. That's definitely cool. Reactionary abilities. I-beams. Attack boost. Choose 1. For each wound dealt, the enemy loses 1 power. Enemies wounded by this attack become dazed, or push the enemy up to 2 spaces away from Mantenga. Energy loss and dazing. Terrible effects that keep happening. Overwatch again, when an enemy moves you can perform an attack. And then Empowered. During its activation, Mantanga pays 2 power to perform 1 bonus move action. Makes sense, it's 4 feet. You get that extra movement out of there. Alright. Let's look at our AI character. Crossbow, attack roll, ignore defense. If the defender has no defense, gain +1 success. And then Infiltrate. Remove Mantanga from the battlefield. Then place him within 4 spaces of the player character with the lowest remaining HP. Surge. After being placed, perform 1 crossbow attack targeting that character. That's nuts. That's actually crazy. Alright, let's see what his skills are. I'm worried his skills are gonna be just as crazy. Alright. There's our freaky eye guy. And then let's, down this way, let's look at some skills. He has Perilous Beam. 4 with range. Each wound dealt, the enemy loses 1 power. You just thought it would have dazed him for being a paralyzing beam, but that's what stun beam's for, I guess. Enemies wounded by this become dazed. Attack push enemies wounded by this attack up to 2 spaces away from Mantanga. So his thing is all about either dazing guys, stealing energy, or pushing them away, so he can keep using all his ranged attacks. He does not have a melee attack, it doesn't look like. So that's cool. He has Agile. Defense boost. The attacker must reroll any successes. Reaction after Mantanga is attacked. Push Mantanga 1 space. So yeah, he just gets the reroll or dodge abilities. That's always helpful. Scout. Perform 1 move action or reveal 1 face down card on the activation track. Ooh, that's the first time I've actually seen that as an ability. That's neat. I'm sure there's going to be other characters in the stretch goals that have abilities like that. Probably like Mechanic. But that's neat to have that as an ability that you can, then get some ahead strategy in there. Then he has Ambush. At the start of the round, Mantanga performs any 1 action. If he attacks, he may roll any attack dice. If he moves, he ignores escape damage. Nice. At the start of the round, before anybody else gets to do anything, even if he hasn't activated yet. That's actually pretty fun. Or he can do that Infiltrate. If no enemies have a line of sight to Mantanga, or he is in a forest, place him in 4 spaces of any enemy on the battlefield. That's neat. He can just disappear and then appear behind whoever else he needs to. That's a fun, exciting ability to play as. Alright, definitely a neat different character. Again, all ranged attacks. The dazing and power negation can really help out with, especially with leaks sitting around. That would be a terrible combination. Cool, let's go check out our next one. We've got Catra. Now, this honestly surprised me when I saw this. These are characters from She-Ra. So it makes sense to have a female that would fight against She-Ra. So it's like a female rival. But it's very interesting because it's like these are like the monster team, and then you have like this woman on the team. But she's clearly some sort of cat lady. Just cat motif. Because she's a panther form. But yeah, it's definitely cool. So she has 1 defense. Slash. Hits all adjacent enemies. Nice. She gets a big sweeping arc with that. And then panther form. Bonus action. During this activation, Catra moves 1 space and her attacks rolls +2 dice. Nice. She just did some extra bonuses on there. A little bit more expensive than other players can usually spend 1 to gain the bonus 2 dice. But it gains it for her entire thing. She gains that for so she gains it for both of her actions. Instead of just the 1. So that's definitely neat. Then she has, for her controller form, she has Slash again. Enemy performs an attack adjacent to attacker performs one slash on them before they perform their attack. It's a pre-attempt. Or, not pre-attempt. Preemptive attack is what I was thinking. I was combining them. And then it says Panther form during this activation. It says +1 moving, +2 dice. Empowered. While using Panther form, once during her activation, Catcher may perform one slash after moving. That's crazy. Suspend it right away during your beginning of your turn. She can move and gets a free attack out of each of her moves. And her attacks all gain 2 extra dice. That's one attack for 5 dice. For free, basically. Well, she has to move. But yeah, you're going to move anyhow. Nice. That's actually pretty cool. Be interesting to see what her regular skills are. Her AI is Sword Flurry. After this attack is performed, a Sword Flurry attacking and targeting the same enemy. This can be repeated. Oh boy, she can just keep rapidly attacking. Although I think you can only have, 5 things, so you can only do it maybe twice, depending on if you gain some bonuses. Then she has Force Captain. Capturing all allies within 4 spaces gain 1 power. Move 2 spaces towards the closest enemy at the lowest HP, then perform 1 attack on that enemy. Neat. Great. Boosting character. Extra power to her teammates is very helpful. Let's see what her skills are. So we'll do this again. We'll zoom back in on her. Her sword got bent a little bit, but that's nothing that's not fixable. I'm just not going to try it right now. You gotta use like hot water and stuff to fix those. Alright, so we have parry. Defense boost for melee only. So she's melee only character. We have a ranged only and a melee only character, which is really cool. Different strategies. Roll 2 dice for each sword or Grayskull Castle. Gain 1 defense. And then Surge roll +1 die. Ooh, so up to 3. So you could potentially get 3 extra defense out of an attack, which is very good. She starts with 1 defense too. She got 4 defense. She can block a lot of attacks. Quick Strike. Reaction. If an enemy performs an attack adjacent to attacker, perform 1 slash attack on them before they perform their attack. Cool, so you get to do that slash attack, but it costs her some. But again, you can also use Panther form at the beginning of your turn to gain extra bonuses. Her yellow, she has Ambition. Bonus action, heal 2. Reaction, when captured or be KO'd, roll a die. On a sword, she is not KO'd and remains conscious with 1 HP. Bonus action, flip over this skill. Oh, neat. So, yeah, if you're low on health, flip to this, heal yourself. If you can't heal yourself in time, at least you have a potential chance to come back. Now, someone might be like, why would you bother to waste that? Like, because if you get KO'd, there's no penalty for it, which I did say when I'm doing the base set. I said I think there should have been a penalty for being KO'd. Like, you have to, like, move to the last activation spot or lose some power or something. Instead, you just spawn and use one. Because the only downside right at the current time would be you then have to travel back across the board. And if you can only move a couple of spaces, and these spaces are 11 wide versus I think it was like 9 up and down. If you have to move across the board from one half to the other to get to your goal, it's 11 spaces, and you can only move 4 spaces each turn. It's only 8. You can't clear the entire board in one turn. And if you do get all the way there, most of the way there, that's your entire turn. You won't be able to attack or anything else. So this is kind of nice for like, hey, stay alive. You might get 1 or 2 more actions out of it. Or she could have aggression. After rolling any die, re-roll any dice. Attack boost. Hits all enemies within 2 spaces, and you can flip this over. So that's very fun. If you're not worried about healing, you can do extra damage. And then she has Force Captain. Tatra, anger 1 ally. Within 4 spaces, performs 1 attack with 1 die. Nice, so you can get someone else to like do some extra attacks. Probably works nice against Hordak just because of that. And then she has Unlock Magic. Reduce the cost of Panther form by 1. So what does Panther form normally cost? 3? So now it only costs 2. That's not bad to have. Plus an action, it says all adjacent enemies suffer 1 wound and become dazed. Nice. So she can just smack everyone around her with her special magic and wound everybody and become dazed. And again, not having to roll dice for them wounds is very powerful. Plus her Panther form. She's a neat character. Interesting melee. Tries to get into multiple damage to multiple characters at the same time. So you don't probably want to let her get too close. Also fun just because, hey, we need more female characters. We got another one there. Alright. Our next character is definitely not a female character. This is Grizzlor. So, I don't know how many people watching this have seen the Masters of the Universe movie, which was not that good. But then they took all these different characters, changed who they all were and stuff. But then they brought one character and it was basically Grizzlor, which was interesting, again, because he was from She-Ra, not from He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe. I don't remember if they called him Grizzlor in there, but that's basically who he was. He's a big, giant, hair-covered guy. This guy cool, though. This guy also has a crossbow. He feels like he wouldn't use a weapon, let alone a ranged weapon. He feels like he would be more of a straight-up fisticuffs character. He kind of is. With his versatility, he has claw and crossbow, so he gets some options there. He also has 10 health, which is the most health in the game so far. At least in this set. I mean, there's probably other characters that have 10 health. But yeah, he's going to be a tank to take down. Boundless range, free bonus action. Grizzlor suffers 2 wounds and gains 2 power. Attack boost for melee, roll 2 dice. Oh, so that's cool. So basically what he can do is free action, take 2 damage. He already has a lot of health, so you can take 2, put him right down to 8, which puts him in line with just about everybody else. Gain 2, he can then use that right away for his attack boost. And he can keep using that repeatedly. What else does he do? He has controller side, another claw and crossbow, and boundless rage again. But he also gains a defense boost on this. For every 2 wounds Grizzlor has suffered, he gains 1 defense up to 3. Oh, crazy. So, yeah, kept doing them attacks, wounding himself, he can gain some extra defense out of it. You have to pay for it, unfortunately, but still. Empowered. When Grizzlor has suffered 5 or more wounds, he moves 1 space and his attacks ignore defense. Nice, so he gets stronger. So we had, there was another character in the base game that had wounding effects like this too. I want to say it was probably Beastman. Ram Man had some stuff like this as well, I think. But yeah, that's it's an interesting way to utilize your resources. If your health being a resource, you spend that instead of power. So his AI has claw and crossbones, boost attacking or defense if they haven't gained 1 success, or he has reckless charge. Grizzlor suffers 2 wounds. This can never KO Grizzlor. Move 4 spaces towards the closest enemy at the lowest HP and perform 1 claw and crossbow attack, targeting the enemy and gaining all attack boosts. Cool, so you can only use that up until he has 2 health left and you can't use it anymore. But yeah, he gains both of the attack boosts. So he gains 1 extra die for every 2 wounds he's suffered, which can be very powerful if he's down to 2 health. So that means you were taking 2, 4, 6, 8. So you're taking 4 damage. So an extra 4 dice. Plus you also can ignore defense. Pretty crazy. Alright. Let's look at his actual skills here. He's got Brute Strikes, 3 range. 10 Castles become +2 successes. Reaction. After rolling an attack dice, reroll any dice. Grizzler suffers 1 wound for each miss. Yeah, it's just a little kind of Orko-ish even in there. Could potentially do extra damage, but he also risks hurting himself doing it. Again, he gains bonuses from being hurt, so it's not really that big of a loss for him. Then his Ground Smash hits all adjacent enemies. Attack Boost hits all enemies within 2 spaces of Grizzler instead. Cool, it's like He-Man's Ground Smash as well. Smashes it outwards, does extra damage. I love the thematic elements of that. You can imagine him hitting the ground and he just hits the guy next to him. Or he can smash it even harder and do like a shockwave. He has Bloodthirsty, attack boost for melee only. For each wound dealt by this attack, Grizzler heals 1. If this tails an enemy, he may perform 1 move. Nice. So he has a way to heal himself. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, I think so far there's only one other character in this set that had a heal action. Reckless Charge performs 1 move action, moving +1 space, ignoring terrain penalties. He may move through but not end on enemies during the move. He may then perform 1 melee attack, ignoring defense. Nice, so extra movement. He can get right through enemies so he can get to the other side of them and attack when he needs to. Then his reg abilities are Unstoppable. Defense boost. Every 2 wounds Grizzler has suffered, he gains 1 defense up to 3. So basically the weaker he gets, he can gain some extra defense. And then finally we have Enraged. Grizzler never becomes dazed. Anytime Grizzler would pay power, he may instead suffer that many wounds. Bonus action, Grizzler performs 1 melee attack. That's pretty cool as well. Now we just need to get that healing character out. Who was it that healed? I know that Prey, no Skeleton. Maybe we didn't have a healing attack yet. I thought we had one guy that could heal, but I guess I was wrong. Just double checking. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, there's the thing. So that's actually what can make this game very interesting. So if you can find, if you start mixing characters together, so She-Ra had a bunch of characters that can do healing abilities. You combine some of them with Grizzler, he could go ahead and keep spending down to like 4 health, which might put him in risk of dying, but he'll be really powerful. But you always have the option of like, oh, he's starting to get surrounded, back him off and heal him. Alright, definitely cool. Alright, so our last character, our 7th evil Horde member, is another lady. We have everyone's favorite Shadow Weaver. So this is a magical lady, so we're gonna have some fun special, but I saved her for last because she has lots of the special effects. What's that? Cape over a robe. Alright. Shadow Weaver here has Wraith Bolt. 4 attack boost. If this tails a minion, spawn 1 Horde Wraith Elite minion adjacent to Shadow Weaver. So we can get them guys summoned. And then Dark Summons. Spawn 1 Horde Elite minion. English face adjacent to Shadow Weaver. Bonus action. Activate all Horde Wraith Elite minions within 4 spaces. So she gets to control the Elite Horde Wizards. Which, just as a quick reminder, they have Wraith Bolt. She gains extra success. And allies within 4 spaces gain 1. So if she summons them next to her, she can then gain them bonuses as well. Right off the bat. Alright, her controller side, she has Shadow Coils. Attack boost, the enemy becomes dazed. Attack boost, 1 enemy within 4 spaces of the target enemy becomes dazed. That's neat, she can actually daze multiple people. And then Dark Summons as well. And then Empowered. Each time an enemy is KO'd, Spawn 1 Hordak adjacent to Shadow Weaver. Nice. So you're gonna keep it. Then there's only 3, so you're not gonna be able to get too often, but they'll probably die fairly quick. They only have 1 health. Shadow Weaver's AI is Shadow Cage. Attack boost. Place 1 Shadow Cage token on an enemy's space. So that was that first thing we saw right off the bat. The Shadow Cage, which they have to pay or attack to get rid of, or they can't move. Dark summons some elite minions. So the AI is pretty interesting there. Alright, let's look at her abilities. This is what make her really cool. She has telekinesis. Push enemies wounded by this attack up to 2 spaces. Surge push enemies plus 1 space. Surge attack also hits all other enemies within 2 spaces of targeted enemy. Cool, so basically she can do like a throw with her telekinesis. You can surge it to hit everybody else as well. Like a telekinesis burst. And then Shadow Coil, which before rolling attack dice, the enemy becomes dazed. They become dazed right off the bat. That's crazy. Attack boost. 1 other enemy within 4 spaces, a target enemy becomes dazed. This boost may be repeated on another enemy within 4 spaces of the new enemy. That's neat. So she has these abilities where she like hits somebody and then she links it to somebody else. She has teleport. Target 1 space within 4 spaces of Shadow Weaver. Then place Shadow Weaver and or any allies within 4 spaces of her onto that space or any adjacent spaces. So you've seen teleport before. Works the same way. Always a nice thing for always kind of need like 1 teammate to at least have that ability. Just to help you get around the board. And then we have Mind Control. Target 1 enemy within 4 spaces and roll 3 dice. If any are ranged or rolled, push that enemy up to 3 spaces. Surge. Perform 1 attack action with the enemy after they move. It doesn't cost power, but the attack boost cannot be used. Neat. So you can either just get them away or you can have them do attacks to people. And remember, it always says up to. 0 is an up to number. But Mind Control is really fun. We've seen that one before too. Then we have Shadow Cage. Place 1 Shadow Cage token on the enemy space. So there's 6 tokens. You could do this up to 6 times, which they only have 3 characters. Unless you're talking their minions. But just as an interesting thing to point out there, if you throw it on a Horde trooper, for example, that's a minion I have, they can't gain energy, so they can't pay the 2 energy to get rid of it. It says perform an attack, target a token, generate at least 3 successes. They only get to roll 2 dice. So if you throw a Shadow Cage on a minion, they're stuck there. There's no way for them to get out. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. So there's models in this space or an adjacent space, so somebody else would have to come over and pay to or attack it. And that'd be the question is it worth, He-Man running over and spending 2 of his energy or spending an action point on an attack to free a Eternia guard? Probably not. It's probably just better to let them sit there and be in the way. Then her last ability is Wraith Queen. Reduce the cost of Dark Summons by 1. So Dark Summons normally... Oh, jeez. Dark Summons is normally 1. She just made it a free action. That's ridiculous. Free attack boost. KO a Horde Wraith Elite minion within 2 spaces of Shadow Weaver to add +2 dice. And then attack boost if you roll at least 3 Castle Grayskulls, KO the enemy. What? You can just roll 3 successes, you can automatically KO an enemy. Now you're that's crazy. It says it's an ultimate finisher attack. That's awesome. Yeah, so this is the Evil Horde pack. These guys are definitely very powerful. They have some really interesting new abilities. Get to play around with some different effects. Plus, is just as a reminder here, and my voice is going. Hordak, who of course leads them, has his augment ability right off the bat. So he can give anybody within 4 spaces an extra roll on a die, move an extra space, or he can heal too. Okay, but there was a healing ability. He can heal your Grizzler. So if he sticks around, guys, he can definitely help make their attacks more powerful, help them move around. But yeah, you have like Grizzler, who spent energy to attack, Leech, who drained power and engaged people constantly, Catra, who just unleashed on everybody, which is really fun. Modular, who had the Modulok, who had the ability to like sneak around people with infiltrate and stuff in ambush. That was really cool. And then you had all the different ranged attacks from Mantenna, which are really neat as well. Plus 1 melee character, 1 full range character. You also get the Shadow Weaver with her elite hordes, or her elite wraths, which are really neat, so we get an extra thing. That's just a really neat idea. The only dang thing I almost say I really like in this set, which would be really cool with what the game did, was I wish there was friendly fire. I wish you could potentially attack your enemy. You could. I guess where I want to put it is if there's like a grenade type attack, where it just says target a space and it does damage. I feel like that should hit anybody in the vicinity, because if you throw a grenade, it's not going to ignore some people and hit some people. And the other reason why I also think friendly fire would be fun would be for the Horde troopers here, because they have the ability, when they're reduced to 0, they roll a die and they can blow up, and they only have 1 health, 1 defense. So basically you have to hit them for 2 damage to take them out. Because it would also be interesting, like you said, the enemies being like, oh, there's a bunch of guys. Shoot that Horde trooper from a distance and blow them up yourselves. Just be kind of funny to do. Alright, that is what we have for... Oh, no, we are not done. We have one more thing for the Evil Horde pack. We have this Kickstarter exclusive box. This is the Mantenna mount. So, I'm only showing this with this because the way the Kickstarter campaigns work is they're stretch goals, you said, and we have the box of power for that, which has all the daily unlocks. This is one that they do occasionally seem on. We'll put a miniature in with specific boxes that are going to retail, like the non-Kickstarter exclusive expansions, to try and persuade people to buy it during the Kickstarter. So if you buy this at retail, the Evil Horde, you won't get this. You'll only get this if you ordered the Kickstarter version, or if you buy it secondhand from someone that had the Kickstarter. So just a heads up. But I'm showing it with this box because it came with it. Is we are going to get the Mantenna mount. So we do have the regular Mantenna there. They just basically took Hordak off of it. Is what it does. But we do get the mount card. And there's rules for playing with mounted characters in some of the scenarios. They're all Kickstarter stuff, so I'll go over them more in the Kickstarter box. But basically, and then they get this extra little card here. It says Mantisaurus mount, free attack boost, hits all adjacent enemies, bonus action, push 1 enemy within 2 spaces into a space adjacent to Mantisaur, and move boost. Basically what this lets you do is make any character mounted. So like we have Hordak who can come mounted, you can give this to another character and essentially make them a mounted character. Which is kind of a neat idea. Alright, so that's what we have for the Evil Horde with Hordak. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the other videos. See you guys later. Bye.